Echoes of dreams. It was in the heart of the city, beneath the neon lights that painted the streets in a vibrant tapestry of colors, that a young street musician named Max found himself. With a battered guitar slung over his shoulder and a heart full of dreams, he wandered through the crowded sidewalks and bustling alleys, seeking his path to greatness. Part 1: The Humble Beginnings. Max was just another face in the crowd, another nameless musician seeking to make a name for himself. His days began at dawn, the sun's first rays spilling across the city, as he found a quiet corner to set up his makeshift stage. His guitar case lay open, waiting for the generous souls who would toss in a few coins in exchange for the melodies he played. Max strummed his guitar with determination, his fingers dancing over the strings like a magician casting spells. His voice, raw and filled with emotion, told stories of love, loss, and the city's never-ending hustle. People hurried by, their eyes fixed on their own destinations, but Max remained undeterred. He believed that every note he played, every lyric he sang, was a step closer to his dream. Max's music resonated with a few souls who paused to listen, offering smiles, applause, and the occasional dollar bill. Those moments kept his hope alive, even when the cold winds of indifference threatened to extinguish it. Part 2: The Struggles. Max's life was far from glamorous. He faced the harsh reality of the streets each day, battling the elements and the unpredictability of life as a street musician. The summer sun blistered his skin, and the winter nights chilled him to the bone. He often went to bed hungry, with dreams of stardom as his only sustenance. Max's family, back in a small town far away, had been skeptical of his decision to chase his musical dreams. They urged him to return, to find a real job, but Max was resolute. He knew that the city held the key to his destiny, and he couldn't turn back now. As time passed, Max realized that his talent alone wouldn't be enough. He needed to connect with the right people, to make his music heard beyond the street corners. The city was teeming with musicians, each with their unique stories and talents. Max started attending open mic nights at local bars and clubs, hoping to catch the attention of someone who could help him take the next step. Part 3: The Mentor. One evening, after finishing a set at a local open mic night, Max met Sarah, an established singer-songwriter in the city. Sarah had been in the music industry for years, and her gentle smile hid a wealth of knowledge and experience. She had been in the audience that night, drawn to Max's raw, passionate performance. After the show, she approached him, her voice filled with warmth and encouragement. "You've got something special, Max. I can see it in your eyes and hear it in your music. But to make it big, you need more than just talent. You need guidance, connections, and a little luck." Sarah became Max's mentor, teaching him the ropes of the industry. She introduced him to influential people, helped him improve his songwriting, and advised him on building his brand. Max's journey began to take shape, and he started performing at local venues beyond the streets, slowly making a name for himself in the city's music scene. Part 4: The First Break. Years passed, and Max's dedication and hard work started paying off. His name began to circulate among music enthusiasts, and he caught the attention of a record label executive named John. Impressed by Max's unique sound and his unwavering passion, John offered him a recording contract. The day Max signed the contract was a turning point in his life. The street musician was no longer just a dreamer, he was now on the cusp of becoming a professional musician. He poured his heart and soul into his debut album, and with the guidance of his mentor Sarah and the resources of the record label, he created something truly magical. Max's album, titled Echoes of Dreams, was released to critical acclaim. His unique blend of heartfelt lyrics and soul-stirring melodies resonated with a wide audience. The city that had once been indifferent to his music now embraced him as a local hero. As Max's popularity grew, he embarked on a nationwide tour, performing at sold-out venues from coast to coast. His music touched the hearts of thousands, and his story inspired aspiring musicians everywhere. Max's life was a testament to the power of determination and passion, proving that dreams could be achieved with unwavering belief and hard work. Part 5: The Legacy. Max's journey from a struggling street musician to a national sensation was a testament to the indomitable human spirit. He had faced adversity, skepticism, and the daily struggles of life on the streets. But he never gave up on his dream. As Max stood on the biggest stage of his life, looking out at the sea of adoring fans, he couldn't help but think back to those humble beginnings on the city streets. He had come a long way, but the echoes of those early dreams still resonated within him. In the end, Max's story wasn't just about music, it was a story of perseverance, resilience, and the power of never giving up on one's dreams. His journey inspired countless others to chase their own dreams, no matter how impossible they seemed. And so, Max's music continued to echo through the hearts and dreams of those who had heard his story, reminding them that greatness could be achieved, one note at a time. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. The Songbird's Ascent. In the heart of a bustling city, where the neon lights pierced the night and the sound of traffic hummed like a symphony, lived a young street musician named Eli. He had known the streets like the back of his hand for as long as he could remember. For as long as anyone could remember, really. The city was a stage, and Eli was its lone actor, pouring his heart into his music on street corners, in subway stations, and sometimes, even in the shadow of towering skyscrapers. His music was his lifeline, and the streets were his audience. The birth of a dream. Eli's story began on a chilly autumn evening when he was just a child. He stood outside a coffee shop with his mother, watching a guitarist strum his way through a soulful ballad. The music seeped into Eli's bones, and he was spellbound. His mother, who had always known that her son was destined for something great, turned to him with a smile. "You see, Eli, that's what passion looks like. One day, you'll find something that moves your soul just like that." From that moment on, music became Eli's obsession. He begged his mother for a guitar, and after much saving and sacrifice, she managed to buy him a modest acoustic. Eli's fingers found their way to the strings, and his heart connected with the instrument as though they had been destined to meet. As Eli grew, his music did too. He practiced day and night, his fingers blistered, his hands calloused, and his voice evolving into something pure and powerful. But he didn't keep his music locked away in his room. Instead, he carried it out into the world, taking to the streets to perform for anyone who would listen. His first days of busking were not glamorous. He played his guitar on street corners, his case open for passers-by to toss a coin or two. Sometimes they did, and sometimes they simply walked past, indifferent to the sounds of a young boy pouring his soul into his music. Eli's resolve was unwavering, though. He knew that every note, every strum, and every lyric was a step on his path to greatness. Eli quickly learned that the city streets had their own rhythm and their own stories. He played in parks and subways, where commuters rushed by with their heads down, seemingly oblivious to the world around them. He played in the heart of the city, where tourists marveled at the towering skyscrapers and the people who filled the streets. And he played on quiet, forgotten corners, where the homeless found solace in the haunting beauty of his melodies. Through it all, Eli kept playing. He sang of love, heartbreak, hope, and despair. He painted pictures with his words and melodies, inviting listeners into his world. With each passing day, his crowds grew. Strangers became familiar faces, and familiar faces became friends. He was creating a symphony of his own on the city streets. A glimpse of stardom. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the city, a man in a sharp suit approached Eli as he played near a busy intersection. The man's name was Richard Hartman, a talent scout for a record label. He had been walking home after a long day at the office when he heard Eli's music, and something stirred inside him. Richard introduced himself and offered Eli a business card. "I represent a record label," he said. "I think you have something special, something unique. How would you like to take your music to the next level?" Eli couldn't believe his luck. It was as if the universe had conspired to make his dreams come true. He met with Richard, signed a contract, and was soon whisked away from the streets and into a recording studio. He was on the cusp of stardom. Eli's life changed dramatically. He was no longer a street musician, he was now a recording artist. His first single, "City of Dreams," hit the airwaves, and it seemed like everyone was singing along. His face graced magazine covers, and he performed on late-night talk shows. The world was at his feet, and he was on the cusp of becoming a household name. But with fame came the trappings of success. The pressures of the industry weighed heavily on Eli. He found himself pushed in directions he didn't want to go, singing songs he didn't believe in, and living a life that felt foreign to him. The city that had once been his stage now felt like a prison, and he longed for the freedom and authenticity of the streets. Eli made a difficult decision. He walked away from the glitz and glamour of the music industry, leaving behind the fame and fortune that had come so quickly. He returned to the city streets, to the very corners where he had once buskied for coins. It was a bittersweet homecoming, and he knew that he was starting over. But Eli had tasted success, and he had learned valuable lessons along the way. He now had the experience, the wisdom, and a deeper connection to his music. He no longer played for coins, he played for the love of it, for the people who had supported him from the beginning, and for himself. The Comeback Kid. Eli's return to the streets was met with open arms. His old fans were thrilled to see him again, and new ones quickly gathered. He played with a newfound passion, singing songs that resonated with the soul. His music was raw, unfiltered, and true to himself. It was a reminder of why he had started this journey in the first place. Eli's comeback was a story that spread like wildfire. The media dubbed him the Comeback Kid, and his story inspired countless others to follow their dreams, to stay true to their passions, and to never forget where they came from. Eli continued to make music, both on the streets and in small, intimate venues. He released albums that were acclaimed for their authenticity and emotional depth. He collaborated with fellow artists who shared his vision, and he used his platform to support causes he believed in. His music had the power to heal, to unite, and to inspire. He had found his place in the world, and he was content with the legacy he was building. It wasn't about the fame or the fortune, it was about the music, the connection, and the journey. Eli's story was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of following one's passion. From the humble beginnings of a street musician to the heights of fame and back to the streets again, he had discovered that success was not measured by external recognition, but by the joy and fulfillment of pursuing one's true calling. His life had been a beautiful melody, filled with highs and lows, but through it all, he had soared like a songbird, embracing the challenges and celebrating the triumphs. His story was an inspiration to all who heard it, a reminder that dreams were worth chasing, and that the journey was as important as the destination. Eli's song continued to echo through the city streets, a reminder that dreams were alive and well, waiting for anyone with the courage to reach for them. And so, the songbird's ascent soared higher and higher, an enduring testament to the power of music, passion, and the unwavering spirit of a young boy who had once played his heart out on a street corner. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Harmonizing resurgence. Once, there was a musician whose name was whispered in reverence by the world. People would travel from distant lands to hear the magic he spun through his guitar, a symphony of emotions that transcended time and space. But, like all great stories, this one had a bitter twist. The musician disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind only a memory of his enchanting tunes. This is the story of his struggle, his resurgence, and his unwavering journey to reclaim the spotlight. Part 1: The Fading Melody. In the heart of the city, where the neon lights painted the night sky with vibrant colors, lived a man named Alexander Grayson. His hands, once skilled and agile, now trembled as he held a guitar covered in dust. Time had not been kind to him, nor had he been kind to himself. Once celebrated as a virtuoso, his name had faded into obscurity. Born into a family of musicians, Alex's fingers had touched the strings of a guitar even before he could walk. His father had been a struggling musician himself, and he had envisioned a different life for his son. Music is a path fraught with hardship, he'd often say. But the young Alex was drawn to music like a moth to a flame. By his teenage years, Alex was a sensation. His prodigious talent was matched only by his passion for the guitar. With every chord he played, he poured his heart and soul into his music. The world embraced him with open arms, and soon, he was a household name. Yet, the relentless demands of fame, the pressure to churn out hits, and the ever-watchful eye of the media took their toll. Alex started losing himself in the glitz and glamour. The parties, the late nights, and the excesses of stardom became his new reality. He slowly distanced himself from the very thing that had brought him to the pinnacle of success, his music. Part 2: The Abyss. As the years passed, the world moved on. New stars emerged in the sky, and Alex's brilliance faded. His music no longer resonated with the audience, who had moved on to new genres and new sounds. The radio waves that once carried his melodies were now filled with a cacophony of voices and electronic beats. But Alex couldn't move on. The guitar, which had been an extension of his soul, lay in the corner, untouched, gathering dust. His days were filled with emptiness, and his nights with the echoes of what could have been. The man who had once been the life of the party was now a recluse, haunted by the ghosts of his past. Alcohol became his constant companion, numbing the pain but also drowning his dreams. The strings of his life had snapped, leaving him in a silent abyss. His fingers, once nimble, now shook with each sip from the bottle. The very thing that had been his solace, his refuge, had become his tormentor. One fateful night, as the rain poured outside, Alex found himself alone in his dimly lit apartment. The TV, a constant source of background noise, was playing a documentary about the life of a struggling musician. The story struck a chord within him. The musician in the documentary had a dream, a passion, and an unyielding desire to make his music heard. He faced hardships, rejection, and poverty but refused to give up. As Alex watched, he realized that this musician's story mirrored his own in the beginning. Tears welled up in his eyes as he remembered the joy, the connection, and the soul-stirring magic of playing his guitar. It was a wake-up call, a call to arms against the shadows that had engulfed him for too long. Part 3: The Resurgence begins. The next morning, the rain had washed away not just the grime on the streets but also the cobwebs in Alex's mind. With determination burning like a fire within, he picked up his guitar and wiped away the layers of dust. His fingers, frail and unsteady, touched the strings, producing a feeble sound. The music that once flowed effortlessly from him now felt foreign. The journey back to his former glory was not going to be easy. Alex had to relearn the basics, regain his dexterity, and rediscover his voice. He embarked on a relentless routine of practice, starting from scratch, like a novice, while battling the demons of his past. Weeks turned into months, and his apartment echoed with the sounds of his struggle. The strings of the guitar bit into his fingers, but he persevered. His calloused hands were a testament to his unyielding spirit. Day by day, note by note, he clawed his way back. A chance encounter with a street musician changed everything. Alex stumbled upon a young, talented singer named Mia, who was strumming a guitar outside a subway station. Her voice was like a soothing balm, and her songs resonated with emotions that he had long forgotten. Mia's humility and the raw authenticity of her music struck a chord in Alex. He struck up a conversation with her, and soon, they were playing together, harmonizing in a way that was almost magical. It was as if Mia's presence breathed life into his music. As they played on the street corners, in small cafes, and anywhere they could find an audience, something magical began to happen. People noticed. Passers-by stopped in their tracks, captivated by the music that transcended the mundane. The duet of Alex and Mia was a testament to the power of music to bridge the gap between generations. Part 4: The Comeback. Word began to spread. The once forgotten musician was back, and this time, he was different. He had stripped away the layers of superficiality that fame had forced upon him. His music was a raw, unadulterated expression of his soul. The music industry, always on the lookout for a new sensation, caught wind of Alex's resurgence. They offered him recording deals, concerts, and all the trappings of fame once more. But Alex had learned his lesson. He refused the glittering temptations and chose a different path. Instead, he and Mia started performing in local charity events, schools, and small venues. They used their music to uplift others, to inspire the next generation of musicians, and to remind the world of the power of authenticity. The genuine connection they shared with their audience was their greatest reward. Years passed, and the once forgotten musician was no longer forgotten. His face and music were etched in the hearts of those who had the privilege of listening to him. The world had changed, and so had Alex. He was no longer chasing the ghost of his former self. He had found a new purpose, a new meaning in his music. His redemption was not about the fame he had lost, but the self he had found. He had risen from the ashes, not as a phoenix, but as a humble musician who had rediscovered the true essence of his art. His journey was an inspiration to all who had lost their way, a testament to the power of resilience and the undying spirit of creativity. Part 5: The Legacy. As time passed, Alex's music touched the lives of many. He and Mia continued to play, even as their hair turned silver and their hands grew frail. Their duets became legendary, a symbol of timeless music that transcended generations. The music that had once faded into obscurity had now become a living legacy. Alex's story served as a reminder that it's never too late to start over, to rekindle a passion, and to find meaning in life. His life was a testament to the enduring power of music, the unbreakable spirit of the human soul, and the beauty of a comeback. Conclusion: a harmonizing resurgence. The story of Alex Grayson, the musician who once vanished into the shadows, was a story of struggle, resilience, and inspiration. It was a tale of redemption, of a man who had lost his way but had found it again through the universal language of music. Alex's journey was a testament to the fact that it's never too late to pick up the broken pieces of one's dreams and create a symphony of resurgence, harmonizing with the heart's true desires. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Resonance rediscovered. Life had a way of testing the most resolute souls. For Liam Anderson, a gifted musician who had once touched the stars with his melodies, the journey back to the limelight was a path riddled with heartache, self-doubt, and unexpected twists. This is the story of his relentless struggle, a tale of motivation that inspired and an epic journey that proved, against all odds, that dreams can be resurrected. In the heart of New Orleans, where the sultry notes of jazz enveloped the air, Liam Anderson had once reigned as a celebrated saxophonist. His music, a fusion of tradition and innovation, had entranced audiences around the world. He was the embodiment of a rising star, destined for greatness. But the rhythm of life, often capricious and cruel, can bring even the most illustrious careers to a screeching halt. For Liam, it came in the form of a crippling accident that left his right hand fractured, forever altering the way he embraced his instrument. His dreams lay shattered, the music silenced, and the spotlight faded. Part 1: The Silence of Solitude. In the months that followed, the silence was deafening. Liam's saxophone gathered dust in a corner of his apartment, a painful reminder of his unfulfilled destiny. The days blurred into one another, an endless tapestry of despair. Liam knew that to regain his place in the world of music, he would have to conquer not only the physical limitations of his injury but also the demons of self-doubt that plagued his mind. He sought solace in the pages of books, the company of mentors, and the whispers of his own stubborn spirit. A mantra formed in his mind: "This too shall pass." Liam's journey back to music began with rehabilitation. His fractured hand had to learn to cradle the saxophone once more, fingers regaining the strength to dance across its keys. The notes that once flowed effortlessly now came at the cost of sweat, tears, and agonizing effort. Liam's determination was his fuel. He surrounded himself with fellow musicians who inspired him and pushed him to his limits. Every chord, every scale, and every improvisation was a step closer to the stage he had once owned. Part 2: The Melody of New Beginnings. As the weeks turned into months, Liam's music transformed. The heartache and pain he'd endured, the hours of practice, and the sleepless nights, had breathed new life into his compositions. His music now bore the unmistakable marks of resilience and triumph. But the road ahead was fraught with challenges. The music industry had moved on, and a new generation of artists had taken center stage. Liam needed something exceptional, something that would set him apart, to rekindle the interest of the world in his music. Liam's journey took an unexpected turn when he discovered the power of fusion. He began to infuse the soul of jazz into contemporary genres, creating a sound that was both nostalgic and novel. It was a musical renaissance, and Liam was its visionary. He collaborated with budding artists and seasoned legends alike, blending the tunes of different generations to create something magical. The synergy of tradition and innovation struck a chord with audiences. The spotlight beckoned once more. Part 3: The Crescendo of Redemption. The culmination of Liam's journey was an unforgettable performance at the New Orleans Jazz Festival. The audience watched in awe as he took the stage, a man reborn, his saxophone cradled in his mended hand. With each note, he shared his story, the struggle, the resilience, the innovation, and the redemption. The crowd felt his triumph, their hearts moved by the melody of a musician who had risen from the ashes. Liam Anderson's story is one of a musician's triumphant comeback after a long hiatus, a tale of resilience and passion, a journey that inspired countless others to chase their dreams. His music, now infused with the depth of experience, became a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. In the end, it was the silence that had been the crucible of Liam's transformation. It was the solitude that had allowed his passion to rekindle, the resilience that had sustained him, the innovation that had set him apart, and the redemption that had brought him back to life. Liam Anderson had rediscovered his resonance, and in doing so, he had become a source of inspiration to all who dared to dream. And so, in the city where the sultry notes of jazz once enveloped the air, Liam Anderson stood once more, triumphant, ready to serenade the world with the music of his soul. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button to learn English through watching these kinds of interesting stories daily. Please click on the screen on any video showing on your screen to watch it next. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video till the end.